let's play this Crowder thing, because I started by saying we're going to have a fun half, and then went into about how Israel is
Stephen
turning into a fascist state.
Acknowledged our existence.
Okay, yeah. Now this is weird. Now, Steven Crowder has been having some trouble lately. I don't know if people are aware of this. He got into a fight with what is it called? The Right Stuff. What is the name of that?
The Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire.
No, the Right Stuff is the dating app.
Right. Sorry.
Right.
And the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire about not getting paid $100 million for services or something.
50 mil.
What, 50, 25? I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. It's like, if it's over, if you start saying millions, like, it's all the same to me.
Yeah. Well, you got to back up to the origin of all of this.
Well,
which was your confrontation with him.
Simultaneously, Steven Crowder's wife left him because he, at least from the video she released, appears to be sort of an abusive, mentally, emotionally abusive guy.
Controlling guy.
Now, to be fair, although maybe this is being too fair, he was under a lot of stress at that time that he was emotionally abusive. We only saw a video from the fall of 2 years ago, right? 2021. Yep. And he was under a lot of stress at that time. Now, it sounds like from his wife's ex-wife's account that he was abusive throughout the marriage in this way. This just happened to be when she was expecting twins. And then, of course, if you know anything about this show and our relationship with Steven Crowder, her expectation of twins was the first excuse that he used that nobody knew about. Mm-hmm. When he backed out of a debate with Ethan Klein because he thought, and this was a crazy thing to think at the time, that somehow Ethan Klein was going to bring us on and he would have to debate me on the topic of his choice. I remember hearing Ethan said that to us, and I'm like, that's crazy.
There's no way.
I can't imagine, A, that he's that paranoid, or B, that he would be that scared. Like, what? It's not like, I'm not magic. They just had a very perfectly polite debate with, the Sean the crime guy and, Stitch and Fine, or
Lilo and Stitch.
Adam and Stitch. Yeah. And, perfectly fine debates. They had some points. I had some points. And, it was all fine. I don't know what Crowder's so worried.
Everyone's still breathing.
We debated Charlie Kirk. And I even had a debate, I guess, with Tim Pool one time. He seems to have pulled it down. I don't think he liked how that came out. But nevertheless. And so Crowder, people know about that. And so Crowder's life sort of fell apart at that point. He decided
he took some elective surgery.
Well, to fair, it sounded like he really needed that surgery. He could just decide when it was. He decided to have it when, to compete with his wife having the children. Different people work in different ways.
I know you need me here for the last, months of your pregnancy, but I got to look better.
Honestly, women get a lot of attention when they're about to give birth.
It's a little...
I can tell you, and it's also, the kids are going to get the attention, and, he was complaining about her wifely duties, and maybe he was just concerned that he would not be the big baby in the family, and the other two actual babies would be the babies. But nevertheless, so here he is. He's a divorce guy. His business sort of propositions fell apart a little bit. He walked away from $25 million. He needs the cash. And now he's rebranding. And then weirdly, he's using us to rebrand. Now, I'm all in favor of that. But come on, if you're going to actually acknowledge that we exist, why not actually engage? It's very strange.
There's this right-wing blowhard named Steven Crowder.
Steven Crowder, despicable guy.
Steven Crowder, who shall be referred to as Steven Cowder.
Not only is he extremely misogynistic and sexist, he's also homophobic.
He's a disgusting garbage human being. Has been his brand from the very beginning.
Just go look at the titles of that guy's videos. He's like the king of saying horrible, offensive.
There's something going on with Crowder.
I fully believe this is a man that is on such a spiral. It is just shocking to me that any person can
posit one thing, okay, I get all this. In fact, I think we did we were planning to do an ad like this, but what's weird is when they cut to him, honestly, it's like,
looks pained.
dude, why do you, like, didn't you have a shot selection? Like, what is it that you're going for? It looks like, honestly, it looks like he's been sunburned, like he's got like a windburned face.
I don't
Like
know.
he's-
Well,
it looks like
everybody's
he's like-
on fire, right? I mean, it's like
But everybody
stuff is
else
burning down.
Everybody else in the thing, like you, I mean, look, it's pretty clear the guy is got some like vanity issues. He's a little bit concerned about how he comes off. You know, wears a gun and you know he's wearing his t-shirts, obviously, and it doesn't seem like in any way like they're trying to make him to be this sort of brave like guy, and it's weird the images that they use of him.
It's weird to include that he's on a spiral. As if what's like the good interpret? I'm not on a spiral. Actually, it might look like I'm on a spiral, but actually this is all going according to my plan.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
weird.
he doesn't show your face either, but that, I mean, who knows? That could not have been intentional. It just shows the logo of the show. I don't know.
I think that's great, actually. I think that is. I mean,
It was from our 2023 clips too, if you look on the side. So it's recent
Oh,
pull.
so fairly recent. But I just gotta say, like, is he gonna address, because he tried to pivot after the Daily Wire thing, which he's playing the Candace Owens thing.
Big
part.
con. Whatever
Big
happened to
con,
that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that kind of dissipated. And then subsequently, there were multiple articles, one in Mediaite and then one in the New York Post about workplace misconduct.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
where
ignoring that.
most recently there was an article that came out about him, which showed that he had been, according to multiple staffers who spoke to Mediaite, sending photos of his genitalia to staffers who, you know, happened to be male. I think that's, you know, interesting to note given his homophobia and his propensity to dress up.
Let me just say, like, in defense of that,
Yeah.
it was a workplace strategy that at different times that we had talked about. Our committees, like our HR committee, was like, "Is this something we should be doing?"
Implementing the dick pic strategy.
It just so happened we decided not to.
Yeah,
that
no
it's
one.
not,
We didn't
but-
go as far as he did with which the actual alleged putting of the genitalia on your employees, like both physically and through photos over text. But yeah, I mean, maybe he'll address that. Maybe this is what he's like ramping up for. I don't know.
Well, let's see.
Big tech is in bed with big con.
All right, go. I thought that was part of the video.
Horrible, offensive.
There's something going on with Crowder.
I fully believe this is a man that is on such a spiral. It is just shocking to me that any person cannot see exactly what he is right now.
And remember, I have not offered a word on any of it.
Pause it for a second. Okay, first off, no, I literally remember you're responding to all of this.
Don't blame my
actually.
kids.
Much of it, and
Yeah.
where's Matt Walsh? Why did they just use Candace Owens in attacking her? I wonder why.
Did he
I wonder-
use the
it's-
boring video?
It's
either?
weird. It's weird. It's sort of weird. It's weird that they didn't use Matt Walsh, but they used Candace Owens. I don't know. Maybe she had more succinct, but he specifically did have a lot of words on all of it. Like, I do remember him addressing Candace Owens and all of that.
But not the harassment. So maybe that's what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to talk about his propensity to show his penis in the workplace.
Oh, he
No,
did.
they've also talked about that and said it's a big funny joke, and everyone.
Not the dick pic part yet.
Oh,
I mean,
sure,
it's
yeah.
hard
Are you
to
sure?
keep track of the waves. This one's really pretty. I'm not sure.
I mean, the last
I'm
one
not
was
sure.
bad too, and they just made a joke about it and said
I sort of feel like he's responded to all of it. But
Yeah.
let's pretend that he didn't. Go.
Okay.
Any person cannot see exactly what he is right now.
And remember, I have not offered a word on any of it.
taking some notes.
You want something to change, it starts with love. It starts with love for the truth.
Oh, a love for the truth. Okay.
But love without truth is meaningless. A love based on a lie is just that.
Pause it for a second. I mean, that is, this is what is known in the business as a double entendre. I'm going to talk about like what I'm talking about in my journalistic show, but really this is a way for me to send a message to my ex-wife that she was really, a liar. She pretended to me that she would be wifely, and of course she was not wifely. That, it's just my speculation is what's going on there. Similarly situated. I have a show. I'm also divorced. to be fair, my wife did not release any video of me saying that she wasn't wifely. In fact, I don't think I ever used that word. I don't even know that I knew that people were still using that word.
And please, pregnant wife, very, very pregnant with 2 children, walk the dogs and then feed them their medication that you fear might be toxic. Do it now. Do it now. Yeah.
I didn't control her with one car. No,
Okay.
To be fair, I did not do any of that stuff. But nevertheless,
Starts with love for the truth. But love without truth is meaningless. A love based on a lie is just that. It's a lie.
See, all the attacks the media against Stephen is because they're scared.
We are in ideological war, and we are at a potential tipping point in this country. You need different kinds of people. You need different battalions.
Different kinds of people, different. I mean, it's all pictures of different white guys working in his working crew for him. It's weird.
And Alex Jones?
And Alex Jones, but to be fair, on the Crowder set, filling in for him.
Yeah, I love to be obsessed with truth and then invite Carrie Lake on my show regularly.
Or, who I just mentioned, Alex Jones, who I don't know, he was just proven in the court of law for a pretty big figure to be
one
defamatory.
of the biggest, I think completely objectively, I mean, if you love the truth, I don't know that anyone's ever paid a bigger fee for lying in public than Alex Jones. I mean, I'm willing to stand corrected, but I don't believe there's ever been a bigger dollar award for lying in the history of the country than Alex Jones.
There's no love without truth.
There you go.
Because they're scared.
We are in ideological war, and we are at a potential tipping point in this country. You need different kinds of people. You need different battalions.
The re-platforming.
It's time to match
begins.
intensity.
Wait a second. Go. This is getting the tension's building. There's fire, the re-platform, and then they have a picture of Nick DiPaolo. I've known Nick for 25 years, and I'll tell you something. Like, if you want to roll out something that is exciting and new and bold and brave, Nick DiPaolo, I don't even know. He's so far down the list that I don't even think that there's you could eliminate the letters in his name out of the alphabet and still be okay for a year. The idea that Nick DiPaolo is the fresh new voice that he's bringing in. I've told this story before, but I cast Nick DiPaolo in a pilot I did called Beat Cops in 1997 or 8. And I have a very bad memory in general. I just don't remember things at all that they ever took place. But one of the things I remember in my life is something from there, 30 years ago, where I was talking to Nick and I'm like, what are you doing? He was going back and forth. I was going back and forth to LA, New York. He's like, I said, are you still living in LA? And he's like, no, you kidding? You can't get a job out there if you're a white guy. I don't think in television there's ever been an era in which white guys were literally getting handed just huge checks for being mildly funny and white. That was basically how I made all my money. Was just being in LA, being mildly funny and white.
And I mean, was there not a cottage industry for Italian guys to be cast as cops or mobsters or wise guys?
I got news for you. I did multiple. I did about in my heyday. I think I was a lead on 10 network sitcoms. At least on 3 or 4 of those, there was a guy just like Nick DiPaolo who was my buddy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh boy, that is amazing. That it was just shocking. He may have been talking about how I think it was Paramount, UPN was doing a slate of shows for black programming. But to be clear, 2 years earlier, there was only 3 networks. And then there was ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, UPN, WB, all just throwing out massive contracts to anybody who did had a decent 10-minute stand-up reel. But ladies and gentlemen, I give you Nick DiPaolo. Okay, here we go. When we'll go, oh, you got 40 seconds of Nick DiPaolo. Yeah, put up.
Okay, yeah, Bradley, pull up
just
this,
to show.
So yeah, this
how
is
exciting this. This is the thing. Like, there's a lot of subtext to this Crowder announcement that people are missing. Yeah. And I want to show it.
I mean, a lot of exciting new stuff, including, I mean, this is what DiPaolo's been doing on the Nick DiPaolo show. This was tweeted out by Crowder in June. And yeah, you don't know full.
This is when Crowder was like, I got to get this guy on my show.
Yeah, here we go, Bradley.
How'd you like to be a cop? Can you imagine wanting to be a cop? Who would want to be a cop? What do you get, $40,000 a year maybe?
Actually, in New York, you make a ton of cash. And you retire after 20 years. I knew a bunch of cops. Actually, when I did Beat Cops, I hung around with a bunch of cops to learn about it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
They're entrepreneurs.
You know the places that pay cops that kind of money? The only place that pays cops under $40,000 a year, it's not like, New York because they're defunding cops. It's Mississippi.
Yeah.
And it's Arkansas, Louisiana, South Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, North Carolina. Those are the places that pay under $50,000 a year.
$1,000 a year maybe? Most of those cops, they go out to New Jersey, the suburbs, have a nice quiet beat. Did you see any cops or security bashing people over the head? It's what you got to do. That's the only way this is going to stop. You can't just stand there, but if they do that, in today's climate, with Alvin Bragg as a day in New York, you're going to go straight to jail. Not the scumbags who are interrupting people trying to go to work. What the fuck?
Yeah, there you go. There's some real wordsmithing. And but
by the way, those were protesters that were protesting the chokehold death of Jordan Neely, and police have ID'd those guys, so they're not just letting them go.
Go ahead. The replatforming begins.
Intense.
Oh, Brian Callen, August 8th.
That shows you how fucked up this country is. Like, I don't buy it. It's all
Brian
funny.
Callen.
This case needs to be blown up, and the ATF needs to be held accountable.
I think that was Brian Callen's trainer.
Why can't we not condemn evil behavior?
Monk Club brings you the
Every
first
single one of you watching or listening right now needs to flip a switch in your head where you will make those sons of bitches embarrassed that they ever even thought of asking that compromise.
August 8th. Oh, so he's doing a network. He's gonna bring DiPaolo show on and Callen show. I know Callen from back in the day as well. Not that bright. At one point he had a show. I think he was going to have me on. Then I think he realized he doesn't want to do it. It's sort of like a libertarian workout type of situation.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what could this be about?
And well, now of course, this is weird. We're looking at Steven Crowder's Rumble views. Now, Rumble views are weird, it seems to me. Like, there's a real disparity. It's really sort of fascinating how many viewers people seem to have on Rumble. And I'll tell you what's amazing to me about this. We ebb and flow in terms of viewers. We're at sort of like a higher mark now than I think we've been in.
We were flowing after Crowder. We embarrassed Crowder.
Well, you get a spike. Spikes happen all the time, depending on if you're in the news or this and that. But we were at the highest point we were at prior to almost now, I think, was in February of 2020, right before COVID. Right, when Bernie dropped out, we had, I don't want to say a precipitous drop, but I think everybody had a precipitous drop because everybody's behavior changed because they're not watching. But within a couple of months, we were back. Within a month or two, we were back to where we were, and it wasn't it was a drop, but it wasn't wasn't a 50% drop. It was but a 20% drop, 30% drop. You get nervous because you don't know where this is going. If I was Steven Crowder right now, I get news for you, and I'll tell everybody in the office. If this happens to us, I'm going to be on the floor. You're going to come in here and I'm going to be in the bathroom crying. And everybody's there. We're going to be selling furniture in here and I'm going to freak out. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, yeah.
If we go from 2.5 million views in like the second week of March to about 750,000 views in July. It's over. I'm going to be so panicked. I'm not even going to be able to talk.
Where was that one spike there? Was that when all
that
that
was probably
going
when
down?
his wife, I would imagine that's when the stuff. Check and see. That was like it appears to be in the first week of May. I would bet that spike is a function of
the interpersonal drama, people getting a little curious.
I would actually guess that spike at the end of of July.
You are right. It was on May 2nd to May 13th, around like that was the coverage.
And watch it was April 28th, so right before.
And what was the part? When was the stuff about him sending dick pics? Was that in maybe? Let's see. I'm looking at that like
that spike there,
June-ish. I mean, but nevertheless, like he's dropping like a lead balloon. It's so strange. How do you go from January 1 up to 2.5 million views, and then as if like it honestly looks like on March 1st, it almost looks like a welcome program. Right? I mean, it's just sort of weird that it's so tied to the beginning of the month in that way.
I think because, like, Jason Campbell, who posted this of Meter Matter, says Crowder's influence has plummeted over the past year. He's made a career out of creating a show as ugly as he is now. People are finding it out. I think there's a little bit of a mix of things. I think that's definitely happening, and I don't think the divorce was good for his image. But I think there was a little bit of an artificial boost given to him by Rumble at the start of...
You are speculating that people who have been paid to go on Rumble or have been invited on to Rumble by, Sachs or whoever these right-wingers are, what you're speculating, Matt, just so we're clear, is that when they come, and a lot of these people are paid, a lot of if you know the names of somebody on Rumble, anybody who hears my voice knows the name of somebody on Rumble, I got news for you. They're paid to be on Rumble. I don't know how long that contract.
Say they're on the left.
I don't know who, which is fine. Fine, get paid. But let me ask you this. Do we have a way of verifying ad views? Like, how much is ad sales, or I should say ad sales on Rumble? Because if you don't have advertisers buying on the ad sales, you really don't need to have that much integrity with your numbers.
No, because then it's not fraud.
Or even if, there are ways to create numbers. I mean, YouTube, polices it, as far as I know, because they're at advertising sales for them is a big deal.
But even YouTube has recently been in trouble for getting views off of autoplays on embeds. And so if YouTube is
Facebook was doing stuff like that too.
And so YouTube and all these different ones do it, I don't know.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Of course.
But here's the thing, is that it's very hard to change people's behaviors. I mean, you hear all the time, like, I don't like the take that, I don't like that Sam said this, or I don't like on this show that they said that. Maybe you can see a dip in their numbers. That happens. But to drop down to literally a fraction, like, I can't do the math, but it's to have a 4 times drop over the course of 4 months.
Yeah, not even that long a time.
I've never seen anything like that before. Yeah. It's almost as if somebody said, no, and just flicked a switch. Yeah. And then just things start to really precipitously drop.
I gotta be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody take so many L's in the
last few years.
In the last few years, just right, even
Rubin
haymaker figuratively
because
to the face, but much like when the union guy punched him.
Crowder's burning bridges, and even Dave Rubin, who's on vacation now, he's just reposting Jimmy Dore videos.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah, actually, maybe we can pull it up a little bit. But it's like, hey, I'm on vacation now, but I'm sure this video is really great, and it's 2 minutes of Jimmy Dore going off on Anderson Cooper. It's very odd.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of business and that goes on.
But I'm saying that's a smart move for Rubin, whereas Crowder's just he's against us and Candace Owens, which is a little bit of a multi-front war going on.
I think he just got a little too big for
he's
his
in
britches.
Love with the truth.
Yeah. Oh, right. No truth without love, and so that's why we showed this graph to you, Stephen, with love.
But and folks, I would check out tomorrow. Apparently, is the big day, the big relaunch.
Look forward to that. I mean, actually, that's the funny thing is like, I am very happy that he is burning more of Rumble investors' money by giving it to Nick DiPaolo and the gun guy that he had there really quickly, and Brian Callen. Like,
maybe with all that, that's what that fire in the ad is, to represent the burning of his
venture
career.
capitalist money. Yeah. David Sachs, thank you for the check.
And just another aside, can right wingers just retire the Mission Impossible font? Like, I mean, it's like the only thing they've got going on in that ad. It's just it's not a substitute for being a tough guy. Please.